We would like to thank our amazing sponsor, Touring Plans Travel. Their destination specialists are experts in smart travel and are there to help you plan an amazing Disney vacation. Whether you are looking at Disney World, a Disney cruise, or anywhere in the world, they will book you an amazing vacation and it costs you nothing. Their services are completely free, so head over to touringplans.com/travel and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney. And Doug, finally we have a show that I have come up with, an idea, something fun that I was like, I have a good one.
Derek's brainchild. So
it is.
If you don't understand the division of power at Rope Drop Radio, or basically work, is Derek does all our tech work, all the editing, makes me sound amazing, which is a tough job.
Sometimes hard, yep.
Right? And post stuff. And I do the organizing the shows, the guests, that's the outlines. That's me. So roles reversed today.
I had a show idea.
So we do a couple a year. That
I get
Derek's
one.
brainchild.
Well, this one I have to share where it comes from. It comes from Derek going to Tepanito for the first time in 12 years and not being impressed as it was 12 years earlier.
Giving away some answers.
I know, but it's second time around Disney. That's the title of the show. So Doug and I are very fortunate to go to Disney multiple times. So that is what we're going to talk about on this week's episode. So a lot of things. We have 4 categories we're going to be talking about, Doug. It's going to be a good one that our listeners can do at home with us.
Yeah.
But before we begin, we have to give a shout out to some new Patreons. In fact, we have one new one that literally just joined minutes ago. So Kim Rickelman, thank you so much for joining the Rope Drop Radio community and getting all the bonus swag. In fact, I want to do a whole episode on this topic with my kids because before we recorded, I started talking with my kids about it and I was laughing on the floor and really wish I had a audio recorder at that moment. So hopefully we get the same thing again. And then Doug, you are about to go on the Disney Wish. So we got a lot of great content coming.
I'm going to try something on this one for patrons, a nightly ice cream talk. So
I like it.
The McKnights tend to end their nights with ice cream on the deck at 11. That's when the ice cream closes. So we go at like 10:58 and the guy knew we were coming
Things
every
that
night
Derek
on the
will
Magic.
never do. Got it.
Right. And so I think I'm going to try to record our ice cream chats.
So if you want to get those chats, because I definitely do, you're going to have to go into the show notes and be a Patreon. Thank you to all of our Patreons. You guys have been awesome, especially these last few months with all the comments and social media groups. So we want to play around with you guys as well on this. So comments on all the things. And then Doug, we have some more reviews we have to get to.
We've gotten a ton of reviews. Thank you very much. It means a lot. A lot of new listeners in the last couple months, so we really appreciate that. And if you've stuck around the last couple months and you're new, thank you for putting up with us and leaving a review. And today's review is by TNB123.
That's like my Gmail password. Pretty close.
Oh.
Yep.
Just throwing that
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. Now I'm going to have to change that after the show.
Derek. And so I'm looking at the review on my phone, and I realize it doesn't show me the whole title.
Oh, good.
So great for someone who is, I'm pretty sure it says new to Disney World from when I've looked at it other places. 5 stars. We are headed to Disney World for our first time. This has been so helpful in planning and getting a good idea of how to navigate the parks. I would love to hear an episode on Mickey's Halloween party. Thanks for all the good info.
Ooh,
so glad we can help. Transition.
Doug and I are going to be at a Halloween party coming up, and we're inviting all of you to join us.
Hot off the press. I got the paper right here.
He does.
All right, so little tweaks to our upcoming trip, September 11th through the 14th. Like to thank Touring Plans Travel for sponsoring us to go and meet up with whoever wants to find us. All right, so we had to move our Galactic Hero Challenge up because they said, Doug, go ahead and plan it. Derek said that too. I trust you.
I don't. What am I?
And then the grown-ups looked at the schedule, and the grown-ups being Michelle and Alex, touring plan destination specialists, Michelle McKnight, Alex Sinek, and they're like, so you're gonna have a meetup in the middle of a Halloween party to ride?
Makes sense to me.
Buzz Lightyear. I'm like, oh, crud. So we got to move that up to 4:30 so we can get it in way before the Halloween party. So if you're going to the Halloween party, it works for you. If you're going to be there for that day, it works for you too. Come in and see us, 4:30 Galactic Hero Challenge. We're going to meet up by Buzz, go ride Buzz Lightyear. All right, then the next day, September 12th, we had to move back La Cava and eating and drinking around the world because I'm told no one wants to do that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a day in September.
I always want to eat and drink around the world on a day in any day in whatever month.
2 o'clock is going to roughly be the surface of the sun, so we're pushing it back to 5
rum drinks.
to meet up Mexico, and then we will eat our way and drink our way around the world that evening, ending with some Harmonious for Derek. No other reason to watch Harmonious. Anyway, a little commentary there.
It's okay.
And then,
you know what? You can stand with me or I'll be by myself, but I will be there.
The 13th, we're going to do a trumpet squid sighting. So we'll meet up at about 10 a.m. So after you do your rope drop attractions, all the lines are long anyway. Might as well meet up with us. Probably going to have to meet by Min and Bill's Dockside Diner because that's where space is. And then we'll go ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway together and find the trumpet squid. After that, disperse into who knows what, probably a nap. And then that night, the night of September 13th, we will be at the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party so we can report back to you, our listeners. And we got to come up with a good group costume for
That is what I was going to ask. We are doing something.
Yeah, we're going to be with several other touring plans agents the whole time.
We are doing something.
The 14th, we will rope drop at Magic Kingdom. And then after your initial rope drop, about 10 a.m. again, we will be hitting up Gaston's for a little cinnamon roll and extra icing time.
A little cinnamon roll. Have you not seen those cinnamon rolls? They're ginormous, Doug.
Hot off the presses.
There you go. Yes, I'm really excited for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Listeners, if you have an idea for a group dress up, because my wife and I were digging into this a couple days ago. What can we all do? We have a lot of ideas.
It has to be simple.
Simple, I agree.
Hot,
yes, and not hot.
And funny.
All the things. If you have ideas, let us know on social media at Rope Drop Radio.
Preface, we'll take credit for the idea.
Or, you know what? I'll give you all the credit. I have no.
Derek will be nice.
I will be.
I'll be like, my idea.
I have ideas, Doug. I'm not going to lie. I have multiple ideas. I've not texted you yet. So
I'm going to get a group text going for the costume thing.
It's going to be good. It's going to be great.
So, and if you're there that night, if you're going to that Halloween party, we'd love to see your costumes.
Yes.
Maybe we'll be able to have like a best costume prize of some socks. I don't know.
I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. Mickey's Not So Scary. So there.
All right. Second time, Derek.
All right. Let's get to the show. How about that, Doug?
Let's do it.
All right, so I had an idea. So when I was at Walt Disney World, I realized I've been going a lot. Doug, you've been going a lot, and we have some listeners that have gone a lot. We are now in the phase that I call second time around Disney. So when you go for one time, you kind of get that, ooh, magic, everything's amazing. Yes. In fact, I have a friend of mine.
Everything but the crowds.
I had a friend of mine who said 9 Dragons is the best meal he's ever had. And I'm like, have you been anywhere else? And he said, no. And so that's it. Yeah, I know.
We ate there. We reviewed it for you.
Yes. So
don't eat there.
There is something about going one time and this being the best ever, but when you get blessed like Doug and I to go more often, you get to start to go to more resorts and attractions and dining, and so some things do not always live up to the second time around. So Doug and I are going to go through attractions, dining, and resorts, and we have 4 categories. 1, was it better the second time around? Did it live up to that first Disney magic? The second one is, did it not live up to the magic? Was like, oh, that was not as cool as the first time I did it. The other one is, need to do it a second time. Some attractions or resorts that we've only done one time, we need to do it again to give it an honest review. And then there is that last category, 1, done. I'm not doing it again, and I cannot wait to hear what Doug has to say about some of the attractions that he has almost puked on in this one.
Well, so just to preface some of my answers here, Derek, this is your idea, but so I tried to eliminate my one and done. I eliminated motion sickness from the equation.
Oh, I'm kind of
I wanted
by
to base
that.
it
Okay.
off the magic.
Okay.
Because a lot of the ones I have motion sickness on, I would love to do again.
That we will do again. Got it. Some of them we will do again on this trip in September 11th.
False.
If you join us, Doug and I will do some attractions that he says he won't do again.
Anyway, and then Yeah, there's this preference that I tried to take the motion sickness, and then it was hard to. I tried to pick stuff comparing it adult to adult rather than childhood to
Yep.
adult.
That's why in
That was a
Patreon,
struggle.
I'm definitely going to talk to my kids again about this episode.
Yeah.
They have just blew my mind. Their answers were completely different than what my brain could even fathom. So I'm really looking forward to that in the Patreon show. But Doug,
right.
this is you and me and our listeners. We're going to be asking these questions at Rope Drop Radio on all the things. We want to hear from you. But the first one is attractions. The rides.
All right. So yeah, we're doing attractions,
Yep.
dinings, resorts. Starting with attractions.
So,
Am I
attractions.
first then?
You're going first. This is my
All right.
show. So there you go. Was it
All right.
better, an attraction that you're like, holy crap, this was awesome the first time, and the second time you did it, it was like, oh, wow, it's still amazing.
Or was better? You say
Or better.
than-
Better or
So-
yes.
So that means it could be mediocre and just be slightly above mediocre the second time. But so this attraction's newer, Derek.
Okay.
It's at Hollywood Studios. It's
All right.
one we're going to do on our trip. It is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. The first time I went on it, I was kind of like, it was closed for a long time. Did we really get a lot out of it? This effect's neat. But then every time I rode it after that, I noticed another layer and another layer.
I agree.
And another
That's a good
layer.
one.
And now I am enamored with the layers.
Hashtag trumpet squid.
Right. Like, you don't always see the trumpet squid. That's one of the neat things about it is you depending on which vehicle you're in, you see a different attraction. And that's why the second time it was a little better, and then it got better and better. And I've enjoyed Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because it kind of improves with each ride.
I like that. That's a good one. I thought about that one. However, I'm going to Flight of Passage, Doug, because you and I did that together. It was our first Rope Drop Radio
It can't
trip.
get better than that first time, Derek. Come on now.
I know.
That was hilarious.
It was wonderful, but yet
We missed the ride, a lot of it, right?
we did. We laughed, giggled quite
Laughed.
a bit. And
You
so
giggled.
doing it with my wife and with my kids, this ride actually exceeded expectations, and it's kind of gone on from there. Like, I still enjoy this ride every time.
I like that answer, Derek. Just a little bit about our first time. So you got to go way back to our trip report, which we recorded in like a back
At
walkway of Epcot where
Yep.
we probably weren't supposed to be. First time we really got to know each other. Flight of Pass it just opened like the week before,
Yep.
right? The second week it was open. The seat used to vibrate
A lot.
like
And Derek's
almost a
tummy
concerning
tickling
amount.
makes him giggle.
Oh my gosh, he giggled.
We
and
should have
giggled
we
and
should have
giggled.
live recorded that one. We didn't know.
didn't
We didn't
know.
know the
We didn't
show.
know.
That was like a year one. Yep.
And it was so awkward because it was full of like college age girls with
Yep.
us making comments about it. It was
Yeah,
a lot.
listen to that
The
episode.
seat did a lot.
Yep.
So just a little preference. That ride was phenomenal from the get go because of the memories I have. And so
Yep.
for you to say it, it did improve. Yeah,
It did.
you notice other things. So I like it. But yeah, a little backstory there. You can go way back and
We
find
could.
that from
That is a good
2016,
one.
but I don't know that you need to. But go download it.
There you go. Help
listen
the
at your
numbers. There you
discretion.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Doug. So, what is an attraction that did not live up to the magic of the first time? So, the second time you did it, you're like, oh, that was not as cool.
All right, so this one's really easy to go. Something from your childhood
Yep.
to adulthood, right? I tried to avoid that. So I found something. It's been a while since I've done it. The first time we did it was magical. My kids were dancing around, giggling, having the time of their lives. Second time we did it, nothing. Just it was flat. I'm talking Disney Junior live on stage.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that
Okay.
ride's not
Yep.
technically there anymore, or attraction. It was a puppet show. Little Einsteins, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Handy Manny, and JoJo Circus. Maybe no, that was the before that. But yeah, so the first time I think we caught the kids just in the right temperament. Right,
Yeah.
It was Samantha was just turning 3, Alden just turned 1, and then 2 years later, Claire was just turning 1. We went in the middle of the afternoon. People were wanting naps. It was 1,000 degrees outside. Nothing. They're just lumps on a log. All the other kids are having fun, and mine were like, I don't know, just like grumpy. So that was a time where it was like, well, never mind. Those magical memories are gone. Glad I have pictures.
That's an interesting one. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
I
kind of
worked
hurts
hard on
my my children, but okay. So
how's it hurt your children?
because we still love that attraction. That still exceeds expectation every time with my kids. We haven't gotten to that point where my children are dead, Doug.
I think it was more the time of day and everything,
may have been.
and it just fell flat because of that.
I still have children that, Mickey is Mickey. Anyway, spoilers. Let's go. For me,
What?
I know. For me, I laugh at this one because I kept coming back to it, and it's Soarin'. Because the first time I did Soarin' was California.
Did you clap when it landed?
I did. I was that guy. Yes,
okay.
I was that guy. Absolutely.
Nobody claps the second time.
No. And so the second time I do Soarin', it's around the world, and I'm in the back corner, and the Eiffel Tower is slightly crooked like a S, like a Sassman, and it's just...
It's got scoliosis, Derek. It has scoliosis.
I've never been on a ride that the first time I'm like, wow, that is amazing. The second time on the ride, I'm like, why did they update this? And that's Soarin' for me. Mm-hmm. And even to this day, I ride Soarin' and I'm like, really, Eiffel Tower? Why are you looking like that?
And then you have someone like me that's a bigger jerk and even ruins it more and is like, the Taj Mahal scene's all CGI, right?
Yep.
All those polar bears are fake. Yeah, none of it's real either. Like, a lot of it's real, but most of it's not. Like, that just blows. Yeah, that's a good one, Derek.
Okay.
I love it, though, just for the record. I love Soarin'. I like to make sure it's something I do every time. But, yeah, you're right. The first time, you're like, oh.
I did. I clapped. I was crying. It was amazing. Dude, it was California. Orange. How'd they get the orange smell on there? It was insane.
There's a guy that every day he just sits there at the right time. He has to peel an orange.
Yes,
every showing. Just
I wish
Fred.
I had that
Fred.
job.
Yeah, you should see his fingers though. The acid just it's rough. It's a rough job.
Good
they should give him some gloves. All right.
So next one is, what is something that you need to do a second time?
For me, the first time, fell a little flat. I think we were hurried, we were rushed, we were beating rope drop. And the second time, I was like, that's pretty much more impressive than I thought. And that's Frozen, the ride. It has an official name that I'm forgetting. But definitely the attraction in Epcot, I think it's worth a second time.
Okay.
Go and do it. Even if you don't have little girls. It's okay.
See, I'm cheating on this one, Doug, because I'm going out west to Disneyland. I have only done...
This show's about Disney World.
I'm cheating for a reason. You'll hear me out. I've only done the Indiana Jones ride one time. I've been to Disneyland 4 times. My kids are all now tall enough to do Indiana Jones. I have never wanted to do one ride in all of Disney parks more than this one now with my kids. And so Indiana Jones needs a second ride where I can bring the whole family on.
I mean, you're taking your question literal.
Yes.
By you need to do it a second time.
Exactly. That's where I went with that. I need to do this a second time. Yes, very much so.
You gave no commentary on Frozen. You just
I thought about it.
I got to go on a second time.
I was like, Doug missed on this one, but okay.
I thought it
improved.
Sense.
It makes sense.
You need to do it a second time.
You do.
All right. That's literally a second time. I thought you were going somewhere with dinosaur or something there when you mentioned Indiana Jones.
No. There's one ride because I've been in Indiana Jones.
We just lost so many listeners. These fools are talking about Disneyland.
No, it's Indiana Jones. There's a difference. It makes sense in my mind, maybe.
In your mind,
I have a Raiders of the Lost Ark Parker right over there. So we're
Parker.
good. Movie poster. There you go.
Okay.
Moving on.
Keep us on the rails, Derek.
There you go. This is hard. You know what? Taking your job, Doug. I know it's actually really hard changing places for an episode. So, Doug, what is one and done? What is one ride? This is the question I was curious about the most when it comes to you because you have issues.
So we mentioned lots of one and dones, and I didn't want to do an obvious one. I thought really hard about me personally. It's just a hint of motion sickness plays into it. A hint of I'm not impressed anymore plays into it. I'm trying to the internet could explode here, Derek. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Oh, what the? Are you kidding me?
I'm good. I don't need to go on it again.
Wow. Okay.
There's so many options like Country Bears. I mean, there's just Astro Orbiter,
Yep.
one and done.
We lost listeners.
Yes, but those
Good
are
job.
simple. But think about
Please
it.
don't leave a bad review on that one.
We're both killing it today.
Yes.
I'm good. I don't have to do it again. I can go on Mickey and Minnie's and see the same technology, but the next generation.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And I took French, so and three-fourths of the ride is in French.
It is.
They didn't even bother to swap the audio to all English or half English.
It does blow my mind on that one. I'll give you that.
Copy of Paris. The same track. They're like, oh, je ne sais pas. Move it over. I don't know.
That was terrible.
Thank you. Je ne sais pas. That was all right.
Okay. So, for me, you'll love this. Astro Orbiter. I have done that, right? Oh my gosh. I can't believe how sick I felt when you and I got off that, and I tried to man up and do something.
Did we ride together?
We did. So
that
it was
so
you, me,
weird.
Michelle, and Alex. And Michelle and Alex were like, you guys suck. And I'm like, I'm going to man up and be good for Space Mountain. I was not good. Like, it was one of those moments in my life where I'm trying to impress you and Alex and Michelle.
No need to impress us.
I walked over there, but I was not okay. And I'm lucky to be alive, but I have no desire. My kids asked to do Astro Orbiter last time we were there. I'm like, oh, the line's 35 minutes. We're going to go somewhere else. So, yeah, my wife will have to take them. I have no desire to spin looking at the castle and then not be able to walk for the next 5 minutes.
See, I'm going to say this is one and done category.
Yep.
I don't even give it the one. This is
you did it once, though.
Yeah,
I was there
you
with you.
To.
Okay.
If you're your first time ever going to Disney
World,
you
got to do it one
pretty.
time. You got
Take
it.
Pictures.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Not even worth it.
All right.
Line's stupid, or you got to rope drop it, and then you're wasting your rope drop on Astro Orbiter.
Weird elevator. That is the slowest elevator on property.
I don't even know how they made it so slow. Are there just cast members underneath walking in a circle?
Yeah, no, I don't really think so.
Some sort of screw device that moves it up and down?
I thought it was slow because of COVID, and then it was just like, no, this can't be.
The line might have loaded more efficiently during
the elevator. No. All right, we are moving on to our next round. We have 3 rounds, so we are moving into what? The dining.
Keep us focused, Derek.
Yes,
keep us
dining. We have 4 on this one. So let's talk dining. What was a restaurant that was even better the second time around, Doug?
Ohana.
Yeah.
And it had a lot to live up to. Our first time was a family meal, and Alden was covered in wings, just like his face. He looked like he dove into the bowl of food.
Yep.
He was 5, and he had on a Husker football jersey, and it was so many stains. That's how you know it was good. And the second time, I think the meat was even more phenomenal. Sometimes the meat's dry, and now I know if you get dry meat, you just bring me a different one. But Ohana really, every time it impresses. They've made some changes that are unimpressive, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, I agree. I love Ohana. It was good. That was on my list. But one that I put in this category is Le Cellier.
Oh, you do love that.
I do love it. The one time I went with my wife and I was like, oh, this is good. But then I finally took the whole family, so all 3 of my kids, and the fact that they all ate, had a great time, great service. I didn't feel like the price point was that bad. I'm like, you know what? This exceeded my expectation more than any other restaurant on property.
You've been to Disney too many times when you say that about the price point of any restaurant.
Yes, especially when you go with kids. So that's what I'm talking about. You and I have gone so many times now that we're able to do things more often. And, it's opened our eyes to a whole new level of Disney.
Yeah. To be honest, though, some of the counter service restaurants, price point really isn't any worse than Jimmy John's. Yep. Just throwing that out there, folks that are worried about dining. If you go out to eat, it's kind of the same counter service wise. Anywho, that's a good one. Le Cellier. I like it, Derek.
So what is a restaurant, Doug, for you that did not live up the second time you went to it?
The second time for me, the first time we went, We closed down the park. We ate there. We walked through an empty park afterwards. The dessert was amazing that I had. It like was perfect for me. It was like cream cheese and pineapple and wonderfulness. And the next time they like didn't have it, and then the second time they wouldn't serve me like half the menu because of my allergy. And I'm like, no, I can have nuts. Like they weren't understanding my allergy. That's Yak and Yeti.
Really?
Yeah.
Love me some Yak and Yeti. Okay.
It's the second time it just wasn't. There was no magic. The third time I ate there, it was good. It was just a decent meal, nothing special, nothing bad. But that second time we did it, it was a train wreck, and it took me years to go back.
Okay. Fast.
Like I was hungry because they like wouldn't give me food because of my allergy, and that drives me nuts.
I've been with you on many trips. It drives me nuts as well.
Oh my gosh, Star Cruiser, right?
Yep.
Like,
so mine, I talked about it in the beginning of the show, but Tepanito. Like it had been 12 years on the dot when we had gone back to Tepanito. And I went and I was just like, really? Like this is it? It was expensive. It was okay. I just did not live up to what I had in my mind from 12 years earlier, and gave me the whole idea for this episode.
Built it up, did you?
Yeah, I did. Way too much.
I think it's a good meal. I enjoy it. It's, can you get the same meal at home a lot of places?
I have a Japanese steakhouse, a couple miles from my house.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. You pay a premium for the show aspect, which is good. And I think the kids love it, though. Like, right?
But can I get the same thing at home for half the price? So that's where the whole idea came up from. Just that one restaurant.
Okay.
So, all right, next one. Need to do it a second time, Doug. I have a lot for this category.
The way I was thinking of this is telling people to try it a second time if they've done it once.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't thinking about me doing it a second time when I did this for some reason, looking at my notes. So I was going to say Via Napoli. I think it's something that the more you do it, the more
I've only done
it
once.
I feel like it improves you. You know what kind of pizza to expect. It is doing a great job of being very authentic to Napoleon-style pizza in Napoli, or Naples, as us Americans call it. So, I literally just ate pizza there 2 weeks ago. So I can say they're doing a pretty good job. They use water that matches the chemistry of the tap water in Naples to make their dough. They import the dough from Europe. The water comes from like Ohio or Michigan or somewhere where they found it matches. So that's the steps they're going to make an authentic pizza. And every time I feel like it gets a little better. So if you haven't been in a while, I think this is a good one to do a second time. Lots of options in Epcot, but I like Via Napoli. Boy, restaurants that I should do a second time. How about this one, Derek?
Yep.
You jogged my memory a little bit. Le Cellier, I've only done once.
Really? That blows my mind.
Yeah, we've had it canceled on us once. We've had to cancel once because someone wasn't feeling well. So, yeah, it's just we've only done it once. Just Michelle and I, never done it with the kids.
So you need to do it a second time.
I do need to do it. If we're going by the definition that you used in your attraction of I just literally haven't gone on it a second time.
That was the idea. I should have talked to you more about it.
That one, yeah. I was just thinking of needing to do it, not literally need to do it second time. But yeah, Le Cellier would be one that I would like to do a second time. There's lots of restaurants I'm eating at once. I mean, you mentioned Nine Dragons. I'm not doing that a second time.
Well, that's the next one.
Next
there you go.
Okay.
Hold on a minute, Doug.
Well, I didn't give that away. I have a bigger shocker for that.
Ooh, okay. So for mine,
I'm trying to be more shocking.
Okay, I've done one restaurant. Like this was cracked me up. Like going through the list, there's a lot of restaurants I've done at least once that I'm like I should do that again. But one it goes out of this world, and that's Space 220. So I've done that one time, and I was so disappointed. But I'm like, you know what, I got to do a lunch. I'm going to give it another shot. And it's just been in my back of my mind. I got to do it again. Like, I don't want to give it a bad review, but it was not great the first time. So Space 220, for especially as many ADRs and as how hard it is to book that restaurant, I really need to give it a fair second shot.
Fair.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's wise. Like, we've had good and okay at Space 220. So I think give it another try.
Yeah, I need to.
And like, yeah, and the menu's changed again.
Mm-hmm.
So you might find something that you like a second time around.
Yep. So
yeah, it's a good one.
Here we go, Doug. What is one restaurant that you have done once and you're like, I'm never doing that again?
So this one, I've said I'm not doing it again. And then my wife has booked it again, and I've been there again, and I'm like, why am I here? And that is Tusker House.
Yeah, I've only done that once.
So back in the day, it was a good way to get in the park before the park opened, and you could kind of be like ahead of Rope Drop at the safari, right?
I've done it. Yep.
And it was so stressful because you're trying to eat, trying to meet characters, trying to pay the bill, and then run out the door. Not fun. We've done it again where it just wasn't great. I ended up eating Krispy Kreme donuts, but paying Disney buffet prices. I can't drink the juice that they try to force feed you. So, like, the juice is super special, right? I can't even remember. They have it at Ohana breakfast as well. And when I'm like, I can't have it, they're like, oh, but it's so good. I'm like, no, I can't have it.
It's like, okay, I drank like 9 of them for you.
We spent 5 minutes talking about my allergy, and now you're trying to literally pour it, like, on me. Like, no, stop. Like, they're very aggressive with their juice, and I just am annoyed.
Yeah, makes sense.
There you go. And the food isn't,
it's not amazing. It's
just a buffet. I would rather go to Chef Mickey's right now. And for me to say that, I never thought I'd say that.
Wow.
I think I'd do any other breakfast in the parks.
Okay.
Before Tusker House.
I like it. I've only been once. It's one that I need to do again. It actually was on the list.
Yeah, that's the last category for you, but I've several times, and I'm like, no, why am I here? Okay. Tusker House for Doug. But I am a grumpy old man, so I am special. If you have it booked, don't cancel it. It's wonderful.
I enjoyed it.
According to most people, not named Douglas.
Now, the restaurant that I will never do again, and I know I will never do it again, is Coral Reef. Like, it was bad food, bad service, and the view, I was like, I see a fish, maybe, and we are spoiled because we have an amazing zoo, and I've gotten to do some dining in the aquarium there, where it's like I'm literally next to a fish and we take shots together. And like Coral Reef is like, there's nothing. I am so
disappointed. That fish over there.
Oh my! I've never been more disappointed by a restaurant in Disney. Not only in Disney, like this is. I will never do this again in like all of my restaurants. I was angry when I left there after paying the bill.
The tanks are dark too.
Yeah,
they're not like super bright lit.
It's like 3 of them
because they're trying to be more natural for the fish, right? Oh gosh, which I get.
Yeah,
but let's keep in mind they are fish in a tank. It's already not natural. So if you eat at night in the winter, the tanks are pretty dark.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of skylight that lights those tanks, and if it's dark out, it's hard seeing those fish.
There's like 3 good tables at that restaurant, and the rest are like, why am I paying this money?
And like the highlight of it for me would be at one of those good tables right next to the tank, and then order fish, and then like show the fish. Like,
okay, that's amusing.
That's a different way to look at it.
I'm eating your face right now. Yeah.
Right, but not.
That's about it. No,
that's
what. I still, to this day, it just blows my mind how swing and a miss this restaurant was.
You are so correct. They need to, knowing what they can do with tanks and the not the glass, but the material, the acrylic. The whole pavilion needs a redo because they could do way much. They could. I mean, watch one episode of Tanked, and you're like, yeah, that would be neat.
And what's crazy is that's what I thought going into it.
But it was built in the 80s.
Yeah.
So you got to remember that.
Okay, thanks.
So it's, 8 foot by 8 foot panels of acrylic surrounded by concrete.
There you go.
Not a tunnel of acrylic.
Someone's like, I love Coral Reef, and they're just clicked off the show.
Well, we're sorry. We've been, yeah. This is why you have different opinions.
That's true. That's the
I mean,
episode
I
in
bashed
itself.
on Tusker House. We are not selling stuff today, are we?
We are not. Well, we might. Let's get into resorts, Doug. So,
Woohoo.
final category, my favorite category, all the resorts at Walt Disney World. I'm staying on property, Doug. I'm not going out west on this one. So, let's talk about which one was better the second time around.
So this was hard because staying at different places with my kids, very different ages, I have different memories type of things, different. But I tried to, leave that out of it. And I went with Bay Lake Tower / Contemporary.
Okay, good one.
That whole complex. Every time I stay there, I like the location more because I can walk to the Magic Kingdom, which is the most pain in the butt place to get to because it just is. So, and I like it. And if you have a rental car, it's real easy to drive to the other parks. No. It's a pain in the butt to drive to the Magic Kingdom. So, Contemporary Bay Lake Tower improves every time I got there. Now you have incredible rooms, which are incredible. Bay Lake Tower, spacious rooms, great views, both of the lake and of the parks, depending on what you book. Bay Lake Tower, Contemporary. It's where it's at.
That's a good one. All right, mine, the Riviera. Like the first time I went with just my wife and I, and we had a wonderful time. And then the second time we went with our kids, and it exceeded expectations by far. In fact, when I talked to my wife about this topic, she's like, yeah, the Riviera. So it just was phenomenal. Having the Skyliner, the pool, the restaurants. I am shocked with how much this resort exceeded our expectations the second time around.
Nice. Yeah. Kept improving. I really like the counter service there.
Yep.
It's good. Way better than Contempo Cafe. So
there you go.
Yeah, that's a fail on mine. But all right. I like it, Derek. I like it.
All right. What is a resort that did not live up to the magic the second time around?
This one was Animal Kingdom Lodge for me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
Wow, okay.
I think the distance got to me the second time. I think the first time, the novelty of the safari, the good dining, I was just, like, happy to be there. Second time around, it was kind of like, how many more hours am I on this bus? Like, it is a long ways from everything, and there's nothing more infuriating than waiting for a bus to Animal Kingdom Lodge from the Animal Kingdom.
That's true.
For like 20 minutes. Yep. I'm like, I could have been there in 5 minutes if there was a stinking sidewalk, but there's not. So, yeah, that's
one of the zebras give you a ride
one
there.
Of the things,
absolutely.
Right? I hear they're very docile. No, we don't condone riding zebras. But that Animal Kingdom Lodge, the second time was just like, The room wasn't as nice as I remembered it. It seemed real dark, and I don't know. I don't know why I can't. I think it's the distance and me getting older and grumpier.
Okay. Wow. I love Animal Kingdom Lodge. So, all right. Well, mine.
That's why we have different opinions, right?
True. Yes. So mine is Pop Century on this one. Like the first time, it was you and me.
First time was magical?
It was you and me. It was our first Rope Drop radio trip. Like there was something magical.
We stayed at Coronado Springs.
So we had a different one. We stayed at Pop. The room was messy. You and I stayed there.
That was our second trip.
Trip. Anyway,
the room wasn't ready, and you called. And you're like, great. Yeah, so someone's stuff is in here? And they're like, no, it's not. We're like, we're looking at it.
It was just one of those times where it was like you and I having fun. And Pop Century did not. And I've stayed there now a few times after that. And even though the Skyliner was at it, I'm like, it's crowded. It's busy. I do not like the food court at all. It has never exceeded my expectations going into it.
That man, you sound like old man Derek there.
It happens. So, I had to pick a resort. So, here's the thing. When I'm at Walt Disney World, the best resort is the one that I'm at. So, but Pop has not aged well on me.
I think this, for me, Pop is, you get what you pay for. It is on the cheaper end, but I always seem to enjoy my stay. My expectations change whether I'm staying at the Riviera or Pop. Definitely two different things, right?
Yep.
But yeah, that first time we had a good time. Then there was the COVID trip there, though, Derek. Fall of 2020. We stayed there. That
did.
exceeded expectations because we're pretty sure we're like the only people in the building. And I mean, we had drinks at Pedals, so
Pedals.
what couldn't be
I
good?
will give you that. Pop is
Pedals.
I will give you that.
The best bar on property.
It is, but the times I've stayed, it's now busy. Like I'm pretty sure Pop is like sold out 24/7.
Oh yeah,
and it's just if you can't handle a lot of people at one resort, Skyliner. I mean, it does have a Skyliner, but still, the buses.
Stay at Art of Animation.
There
it cuts the people down drastically.
Yes,
because there's a lot less rooms.
All right, Doug, what is a
Good
resort you need to stay at a second time?
I've stayed here twice, but it's changed dramatically. So the first time I stayed there was with you on our first rope drop trip. It was Coronado Springs in a brand new refurbished room. We could have been the first people in there, actually. But now I've stayed in the tower. And
yes, I have too.
It was not very busy. When we went, numbers were low because of COVID. So like we kind of had like we walked right onto an elevator every time, and the elevators are very fancy in the tower. Like you have to just push what floor you're going to and whisk you away. It tells you which elevator to get into, and some people can't handle that. They stand in a line. It's like I walk past the line. So I kind of want to stay there now that it's busy and full.
Yep.
Just to see if I still love it as much because I love that tower.
Yes.
But now that it's full of people,
Yeah.
will I?
That's a good question. That's it. I like it.
Like I need to stay there another time to find out if I still like it. The room is like a deluxe room at a moderate plus price.
Loved it. One of the best on property by far.
It's moderate plus for sure. Price wise and what you get, that tower is great. I don't know that I could stay at not the tower at Coronado after being in the tower. So would be my second time in the tower. I want to experience it like everything's open. Yep. Because not everything was open.
I agree with you on that. Yes.
I need another try
I've stayed
because
at the tower, and I agree with you.
When I was there.
Yep.
There you go. Coronado.
That is a really good one.
Yeah, I had to think, Derek. It was hard.
This was the easiest one on the whole list. All the list. This is the easiest one. Yes. The Galactic Star Cruiser, dog. Come on now. We have stayed there once.
You got to do it a second time.
Got to do it a second time. In fact, I want to give a shout out to all of our listeners, my friends, Patreons who have messaged me in the last 8 weeks. Like, we need to book a trip. Next year, 2023 coming out. I might be going 2 or 3 times at this point, Doug, with all the people wanting to go.
So it's got to do it a second time.
Yes.
Just to do a different storyline. I saw somebody on that Galactic Star Cruiser costuming Facebook group where it belonged to. I love that group.
Yes.
Somebody posted pictures, said just got off of our 3rd voyage.
Makes sense.
Holy crap! And there was a family of 4.
Yep.
I need to do whatever they do for a living, first of all. And and they posted the professional photographers. Mm-hmm. And they post those professional photographer pictures all the time. We did not get those because we just almost knew what we were doing costuming wise. Second time around,
we will
get the professional pictures.
I like it. So I have a group in January of listeners that do not know each other at the moment, Doug, and it's cracking me up because the ragtag. You're listening to this, I know. It's they don't know each other, but they want to go with me, and so. When booking comes out in 2023, I think it's going to happen. And then there's a few other listeners. So if you want to go with Doug and I, let us know. It might be something we have to do sometime this coming year. And it just amazes me here's what amazes me about this resort, Doug. I did it once with you and me, no spouses.
Yeah.
And I think pretty sure our spouses were yeah, you guys can go again. And they're yeah, we'll do it someday. But they have no desire to go. Am I right on that?
Oh, my wife would be. I would not want to do it with her.
Yeah,
because it's Star Wars.
It is.
It is not casually themed. Like you are in it.
I've had a couple spouses message me and be like, just take my husband. Like, just tell me what it costs, because I do not want to spend the $5,000 to go as a family. Just take him and go. So if that is one of our listeners, let us know. I'm going to try and get another trip going for this coming year. Hopefully Doug and I can get a date together and we can get a group going. But it just blows my mind how many people are interested in this resort to go a second time, because I'm one of them. I want to go again. Can't wait.
It is fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe we can organize a group with our sponsor and do something. I don't know. Yeah, let's.
But I need to do
great.
it a second time. That is the
fits this
category.
exactly.
Easy. Yes,
And,
nailed it.
Here's where the Star Cruiser is in my mind. This was resorts.
Yep.
This doesn't even fall into resorts in my mind.
Okay.
Because it falls into cruises.
Oh, interesting. I was wondering if you were going to see it the same way I was.
I didn't even, my brain didn't even contemplate it as a resort.
Okay. There you go. So
Hey,
let me ask you this.
Not under the next category, Derek.
No. What is the one and done resort that you have? And I bet they're the same, maybe, as me.
I got 2 listed.
All right.
I was going to see what you said and make sure we didn't do the same one, but maybe I just give both.
Okay.
Actually, one is off of that list. Now everybody's curious. I've taken one off because they're doing a refurbishment. Maybe I do want to check it out. But the definite, 100%, one and done, Boardwalk.
Really?
Dude, I've been in the annex. I had a room where the window didn't shut and we're outside the car, like
I was
port
not expecting
area.
this at all.
There was
wow.
a scissor
Okay.
lift. You have to walk 8 miles to get to everything. You can't go out any other doors than the main one.
Abracadabra alone should save that one, but okay.
I can go there and I can stay at Beach Club or Yacht Club. Okay. Not a big deal. Heck, I can get there from the French Quarter in September if I need to. So, Boardwalk. Also, might I just add, creepy clown chairs. No one needs to see those. If you don't know what
everyone
these are,
needs to
Google,
see. Okay.
Google Disney's Boardwalk creepy chairs, and you won't sleep tonight. It's that simple. So the other one I had listed, but it might be creeping back on because maybe I'm becoming a bit more, the Grand Floridian.
Wow, we are completely opposite on this category.
Maybe I'm back to where maybe I could stay there. I wrote it off. The one time I was there, I was like, I look like I shouldn't even be checking in. That's kind of the attitude I got from, because I was wearing my purse pants and a t-shirt, I wasn't, the guy next to me was in a blazer. So that's kind of how I felt the whole time there. But I think society's dumbed down a little bit. So maybe I can fit in there, and they're doing a refurb that I kind of want to see. So.
Okay. Well, I was going all-star movies because I've stayed there one time with you. Yes. Our air conditioning was like, I couldn't sleep. It was turned green. Like? It was, and then also we had those kids at the pool.
With a pen during the
It was 10 times louder than that. We had kids at the pool that didn't go to bed till 3:30 in the morning.
I don't think they had parents.
No, they obviously not. And so I was just like, you know what? This is not the resort for me. I don't mind all-star sports.
Derek.
Yes.
At the movies, I got a Dole Whip smoothie.
That's about it. That was only redeeming. You know what? You don't have to stay there. We can find other smoothies for you in the park somewhere. Oh right. My gosh.
Take a blender and make me one.
Those rooms, I thought I was going to die. I'm like, it's releasing toxic gas. This is where it ends. So I have no desire to ever stay there again.
We stayed there because it opened like that week too.
And I couldn't believe how many kids. I'm pretty sure it was like we're the only adults in the whole Mighty Ducks wing.
I think the room was like dusty because nobody had been in it for a year.
And you and I kept like coughing and sneezing. We thought we had COVID. We were going to die. It was
one night.
Yep.
Yeah.
We stayed there one night, and that is one night. That is it. I'm not staying there again. I've written it off. All-star movies. I'm one and done.
So clearly what I take away from this list is Derek is definitely not a value person anymore.
I've realized that with myself as I reflected over the last couple of years. I'm a moderate and deluxe person.
Nothing wrong with that.
I do love art animation. That's a good one. So I will stay there again. That's a good one. That's a value plus.
Yeah.
Is there categories anymore, Doug?
There are. There's definitely still categories. Don't worry. We're staying at a moderate in September. That's definitely a moderate.
Really?
So.
Where are you staying?
September?
Yeah.
Port Orleans French Quarter?
Oh, our trip. Sorry, I was thinking
Uh-huh.
family. Like I was thinking what you're doing before the Wish, but you're just going to the
No,
Wish.
that would be in July.
That is true.
And
Okay.
we are
We
staying
have too
at
many trips.
Universal.
We have a lot of trips
We have a
coming
lot-
up, by
lot
the
of
way.
trips, which is
I have a
good for the
calendar. It
listeners.
is. It's great. We have a lot of things. We have 2 trip reports coming. We have a lot of trip reports coming up.
Yeah. And so for the Wish, we're staying at Dockside at Universal for one night. And then one night afterwards, because it was like $1,000 cheaper to fly home on Tuesday instead of Monday, we are staying at something we're finally going to get to check off our list, Old Key West.
Finally, that's on
It
my
will
list
be
too. And then you complete it all,
Michelle's
don't
last
we?
resort. Yeah, my last resort, not counting campsites.
Yep.
I don't count the campsites.
No, why not?
That's all different culture.
Well, so if enough Patreons tell us to stay at a campsite, Doug and I will do it sometime, and we'll put that on the list to never to do again.
Never to do again.
Yes.
Campsite in Florida in September.
It has been brought up on multiple times. So there you go. That is our list. So we're going to be asking these on all of our social medias, attractions, dining, resorts, things that are better the second time, did not live up to it, things you need to do again, and the one and done, which is probably my favorite category. It's just like, you ever just do that thing, you're like, yep, I'm good, and that's sometimes happens at Disney World.
Attraction that was hard for not to say one and done for was the Navi River Journey.
Yeah.
I really wanted to say it, but I'm
funny
like,
is when we were going into this, I was like, oh, is he gonna pick Everest or any of the Star Tours ones that we've done on the show before, Space Mountain? You threw me off guard, Doug.
I can tell you, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is one and done, but
We're
not
doing
because
together.
I want it to be.
Nope.
Dude, I can't.
We're
It
doing
was
it. We're
brutal.
doing it.
I
We're doing
couldn't
it. We're doing
walk.
it. We're doing it.
Not doing it.
We're doing it.
All right. Anyway.
Hey, listeners. Take a minute right now and send us a message and tell Doug he needs to do it for this trip so we can record it and putting on a bonus episode. Anyway, that is all the time that we have for this week's episode. So be sure to give us a review, like and follow. And of course, if you want to become a part of our Patreon episode and all of our Patreon shows, because my kids want to do this as well, go on there into the show notes and click and help support the show. And definitely, if you have a trip that you want to do, especially in that September 11th through 14th, you need to go to touringplans.com/travel, click that Rope Drop Radio link in there and help support the show that way. But that is all the time that Doug and I have for this week's episode, because Doug has to pack, because next week, Doug, what are you going to be talking about?
On the Wish.
He's on the Wish. That's right. I am so excited for next week's episode. Doug, Wish, will he get the $5,000 Star Wars drink?
No.
But okay.
No, I'm
spoilers
paying
already.
for my own trips.
Never
Already
mind. I
paying
guess
something.
that's
not
out.
a free trip. Not hosted.
All right. So there you go. So stay tuned for that next week. Thank you guys so much for listening to Rope Drop Radio.